Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Central Michigan Stacker. Today I've got a bunch of coins from Canada I'd like to go over with you and show you a few things I have. Before I get started with that, I'd just like to give some general information about the coinage from Canada. And what I have about that is the Royal Mint of England produced coinage for Canada from 1858 to 1908, at which point in time the Royal Canadian Mint was founded, January 2nd of 1908. In 1931, the Canadian government took over full control of the Ottawa branch of the Royal Mint, which has been operating under British control up until that point. The first silver dollar coin was issued in 1935 to commemorate King George V's Silver Jubilee. In 1967, brought around the last of the general circulation silver coinage in Canada. And what I have to show you today is a few things. I've got a story to start off with, and that is I went to an estate sale a couple of months back in which I asked around if they had any gold or silver bullion or coins or anything like that, if the people who had passed away, obviously, had anything at the estate sale that they were selling. And they did, and what I found was some uncirculated sets from the Royal Canadian Mint. I ended up with a 1965 set, uncirculated, and then a 1966 uncirculated set, which brought me to the centennial, the 1867 to the 1967 set, which when it was produced has a different reverse. We have a lynx, a snowshoe hare, a Canadian goose, a mullet, and a wolf on the 50-cent piece. Really nice job on those. Beautiful. A very young Queen Elizabeth II on the front of the coins. And then the last one I purchased was a 1968 4 sets, and each one of them came with their own COA, and they all came in manila envelopes from their mint. However, I took them out of there just to show you today. So let's get started. What I have as far as Canadian coins are concerned are a few things here. We've got a 1970 50-cent piece, and the reason I have this is I was born in 1970. It's the only one I have of that year. Nothing significant about it other than the fact that that was my birth year. Here we have a 1941 50-cent piece, Canadian. A lot of intricate design on that. Beautiful. And this has King George V on there. And as I said, he was the one who began their silver coinage in 1935 to commemorate the Silver Jubilee that they started at that point in time. And that's the 19 41 50-cent piece with their coat of arms on the back. Then I have, it's not silver nor gold, but it is a very early Canadian cent from 1859. And it was just really well preserved in a set that had a lot of pennies in it. And I kept this one just because it was so intricate in the design of the maple leaves on the back, all on around the edge. 1 cent, 1859. Canadian coinage. Let's see. We've got a couple examples of maple leaves here. This has the radial lines on it, and it has the small maple leaf underneath the large maple leaf, and that the little privy there, and that is a security feature that they came up with. And there is Queen Elizabeth II on the front of the coin, and this is a 2015 maple leaf. And as you can see, she's not wearing the crown in this example of the maple leaf. Here we have another maple leaf, and this is the, doesn't have the radial lines on it. That was something they came out with more recently. But this is the 1994. There's a lot of scratches on the plastic of this. They're not all over the coin. I've had these for a while, and they've been rummaged around and gone through and rifled through. But this is the 1994 version of the Canadian maple leaf, showing a much younger Queen Elizabeth II with a full crown on her head. And as I said, no radial lines, no privy mark. Those are all things that they started putting on the coins more recently for, you know, the purpose of them not being counterfeited. Makes them a little harder to counterfeit. But those are two examples of a... Here I've got a pile of out of the plastic Canadian maple leafs. And this is the 2013 version. A little bit of milk spotting on this coin. But as we all know, the milk spotting doesn't really affect the coin at all as far as the weight of the silver goes. But it makes it a little less, you know, appealing to the eye. But it's still an ounce of silver. The 2013 maple leaf. And I have a full tube of those sitting here. Here's something I picked up at a local coin store. Another Canadian maple leaf, however, it's a little older as well. It's the 1988 version. And that depicts a very young Queen Elizabeth on there, the second. And I got 4 of these, actually, from the coin store. And they're all in the Royal Canadian Mint packaging. And all in just pristine condition. Beautiful coinage. 4 of those. And then to get into a few older coins that I have from Canada, we have an 1857 Bank of Upper Canada penny, and that depicts King George slaying the dragon. And then on the reverse of the coin it says bank token 1 penny. We've got an anchor on there, a sword, the royal crown, and then a small piece of the flag right there in a triangular setting. Cornucopia or whatever those things are, full of fruit. But it's a beautiful example of an old Canadian penny, 1857, and it would have been something to carry around a pocket full of these things, I can tell you, because they're not small. It's about the size of a 50-cent piece. Intricate design. Nice coin. I've got two of those right there. Then over here I have a Canadian dollar, which depicts two people in a canoe, 1960. And a lot of people believe that these coins are scratched. Those aren't scratches. Those are the Northern Lights. That's what those lines are supposed to depict on here, is Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights in the background, in the fields of the coin. And this is a 1960, 80% silver. And there we have Queen Elizabeth before she started having the tiara or the crown on her head. Extremely young Queen Elizabeth there on that one. And that's the 1960 silver dollar Canadian. Here's a set I bought from an auction. This happens to be a 1966 set. It's got the dollar, the 50 cent, the caribou, the boat, the beaver, and the maple leaves on there. 1966 set. And on this side it says that it's the 1966 Canadian year set, MS63. Who graded that? I'm not sure. And it says last year of silver coinage. But the circulated silver coins, the last year was 1967. So I'm not sure if the people had their facts straight on that. However, beautiful set. Here's something I purchased online. It's a 1 ounce Canadian silver coin. However, where the maple leaf is at, they adhered opal stone, and it still has the radial lines. You can see those radial lines on there, and it's got a small maple leaf privy underneath the maple leaf there that's on the coin. But just look at the beautiful colors in that opal stone. They made 500 of these coins. I believe this is number 463. And then it depicts the queen on there without the crown again. 2019. And obviously this was a special low mintage coin. I had to pay a pretty penny for it, but I wanted it. So now she's in my set, and that's where it's going to stay. Stacked way back in the safe for safekeeping. She's a beauty. And then I have a couple gold coins from Canada. One is the 1/10 ounce maple leaf. I purchased this from a local coin shop back when gold was a bit lower on spot. And there's no radial lines in that. As you can see, it's a bit older coin. This happens to be the 2009 $5 gold piece from Canada. Queen Elizabeth on there without the crown. And then I have a 1 ounce 4/9 fine gold, 1 ounce Canadian maple leaf. I got this, I'm going to say 2 months ago probably. And it is a 2006. All the scratches are on the plastic. These coins are, I would call MS 68 or 69 shape. I'm sure of it. There's not a blemish on it, just on the plastic. But it's a 2006 $50 maple leaf. And one of my nicest Canadian coins that I have in my stack. I hope to get a few more. Maybe one of the brand new 2020s with the radial lines and the privy mark. However, I don't have one in the stack yet. This is not a coin from Canada. However, it does have a few Canadian attributes on it. It's got a beautiful moose on there with some Canadian background, and then it has green depicting the northern lights again, the Aurora Borealis on this coin. 2018, and I saw this online. I just had to have it. I thought that was beautiful. I really like that. And for the most part, that is the extent of my Canadian coinage. You know, I've got a tube of these maple leaves here with the queen on there. And this is a whole tube of, let's see what we have, 2013. A whole tube of 2013 maple leafs. I acquired that, I'm going to say 6 or 8 weeks ago from a local coin store. That's all I primarily have to go over with you today as far as my coins from Canada. Hopefully I gave you a little information as far as their mintage and their mint, the Royal Canadian Mint, and when it was founded. If you liked the video today and you like what you saw, give me a thumbs up, give me a like. I appreciate everyone that watches the videos, and hopefully you learned a little something today. Maybe you could subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate that. And that's the end of this video. Central Michigan Stacker, and I'm out.